Any questions that you want to ask before they leave?
How we made the example for you. Like, how did you guys find the workbook?
Because not everyone in the audience had it, and there was no direct opportunity for us to really think about it. We didn't put any points towards scoring it because it didn't come into the rubric. Yes, you were giving a sample, right. And what it does is it takes some of the information from a catalog and some of the information from a schedule and sort of blends it together. But I think people were definitely shaking their head, yes, we need things to be less information and more key messages.
Any final comments? It's interesting to me that you guys lost on overage in time and didn't lose necessarily on presentation. Whose idea was it?
It was a group consensus.
Did everybody agree with that? The whole group decided that you were all going to speak like the group did last week that lost?
No.
I had a feeling that they were going to say that. That's why I'm asking.
I was against it from the start.
Were you the only one down?
No. Other people felt that way, but once the train got
Abraham, you guys?
I kind of came up with an idea at first to kind of do it like a newscast. Have two anchors, Naomi and Dominic, and then have like side stories so everyone's engaged and everyone gives a piece, but it's not like we're all speaking for 5 minutes apiece. And I think that's
kind of what this group did.
Yeah.
And it worked really well. Instead of all of them speaking, they kind of had that same concept. It worked really well. So why didn't anybody take your idea? Were you not listened to again this week?
No, I don't think it was that. I think it was that we had too much information that we wanted, and it was too hard to narrow it down and constrain it to just two individuals.
Through this presentation, I thought it was interesting because all of us up here were, after your presentation, we kind of, we had notes. I mean, you had everybody speak. It was a little bit repetitive. You had lots of facts. There wasn't a lot of smiling or engagement. And then we all perked up when Dominic started speaking. And of course, that was over your time. So as they said, we wouldn't have heard it had they not let you. I just put in there, you guys didn't talk about texting or Facebook. I was shocked that you guys didn't talk anything about social media. Your survey didn't talk about social media. Why is that? That's what you guys talked about last week, so it's like you took a different approach. I mean...
Well, we did talk about it, and then we wanted to narrow it down to 3 main ideas, and then elaborate on those ideas instead of just a hodgepodge of like different information being thrown at you at once.
Right. And presentation was not part of the rubric, which is why I think the scoring was so close. If we were going off presentation, and I think we would have asked every teenager in the back of the room and the people that they're trying to attract to this school, your presentation is going to get more kids here because people resonated. Now, you guys talked about rock bottom in your commercial. Rock Valley states that they would not use something like that because of the negative connotation that it comes with. For me, I think it's an aggressive marketing technique that would cause an entire city to be talking about Rock Valley College, which is what I think you guys were trying to achieve. And I commend you for that. While everybody's not going to be aggressive in their marketing, and they have to be careful about, the history of the university, it was pretty creative. And your video was good as well. Your commercial was good. Theirs, in our opinion, I think was better. We have it on video. I want you guys to watch their presentation and your presentation, because their presentation pretty much modeled what you did last week. But you're right, you had a lot of fact. You did. I mean, you had tons of information, and I think that who you were reporting to and who was judging you, it made sense that you guys would have won, because that was the goal, is to present information and give ideas. So this is a hard one. It's kind of like we want you to go out and survey all of the young people in Rock Valley College, but then we want you to report it to all of the faculty who are older. All right, so really quickly, Any comments from this table, questions? Go ahead.
I would just say, I know, Evan, you guys said that you were going to go with the newscast kind of thing. I want to get back to that. Why? I understand you said you had a lot of information to present, but you saw how they did it. They were able to talk with everybody, and they did an excellent job. Why is it that you guys were not able to do that?
I know Wednesday night everyone met and I couldn't go, and I didn't get any information until Thursday night. And I didn't know what I was doing until Thursday night.
Whose fault's that?
Well, I texted Naomi and Dominic. Dominic, I know, had to work all of Thursday, so I wasn't relying directly on him. But I mean, I texted Abraham later in the day because no one was getting back to me. I texted Naomi that night, and she said she would send me stuff, and I got nothing.
What was the number one biggest obstacle, the hardest thing you had to overcome? And it can be, if it was a person, or if it was, you know, something on campus. What was the hardest thing that you had to deal with?
I think the hardest thing we had to deal with was conflict of personalities. Because
Who?
well, Dominic, Evan, and I, because we were all very strong personalities, and we all wanted to do our different things, and we all wanted to have our voice and have things in it. And it was hard because I wanted to appease everyone.
So
And
how
that's-
did you deal with the conflict? I mean, you said you wanted to appease people. How did you try and appease people? How did you deal with having three strong personalities?
Well, I tried by letting them talk it out, but it wasn't working because we were doing a lot of talking and not enough getting things done. But
Did you present this way on purpose? What was your reason for presenting the way you did?
Because we got so strongly reprimanded last week for having like
Okay.
only.
So, listen to me. That means that you're present. I wanted to hear you say, we presented the way we did based on the rubric because the audience we were going to present to. That I could have swallowed that a little bit more, but I knew that your presentation had to do with trying to hold back, trying to not let you guys be seen, you know, as the dominant ones in the group. Am I right? Okay. But then you come to this room and you guys become dominating. So I'm going to tell you what I said last time. Let other people speak. You guys jump the talk so fast, so we never hear from Luz, never hear from Abraham, never hear from Langston, because you guys want to defend this process. All right.
I'm curious to know how you guys came up with your ideas for Rock Valley regarding their marketing, I'm going to call them sister universities, and then the recategorizing with their pricing. Did you guys just do a bunch of, how did you?
It was all Dominic.
Okay.
Dominic came to me with this idea, and I said, yes, let's go with it. And he also came up with how he was going to explain it. That's why he did that part of the presentation, because it was his idea and he knew it the best.
So losing has a lot to do with the fact that we would have never heard the great things that Dominic did because you would have gone too long. So, I mean, Dominic, I would commend you. Everybody has said the ideas you came up with were great. Naomi, I saw you try to hold back, took some breathing, you know, and knew that you were starting to take on some things. I have to tell you that in this presentation for the second time, there's some I statements that you're trying to catch.
Oh, yeah, I did.
You tried to catch
I
it,
did
so
try
I saw that you're at least hearing me when you know that you have an entire team. And one of the biggest things that's important is to help people realize who are evaluating you that while sometimes you get to be the star of the show, a whole lot of people helped you get there.
Absolutely.
And acknowledging this team, Evan told you he feels unheard. And I'm kind of feeling like Evan is in the second week saying the same thing, which may mean you need to do something different. Not hard enough.
Well, ultimately, Dominic and I fight about what we think is best, and it's constructive. But then at the end of the day, Naomi picks Dominic every single time, and it was the same thing with Jordan.
So there could be a level of trust, level of some things that you guys might need to talk about and work out. Best way to resolve that is become the project lead, and then you can call the shots. Naomi, you spend not only time with eyes, but gosh, if the president of the college, vice president, the marketing VP, if you sat in a presentation with me at the Y and told me how wrong everything I had done in my career was, it'd be really hard. It would. Because in some cases it's insulting. It needs to be based on the positive approaches. Here's how we can enhance the college experience. You're lucky that you were dealing with professionals, because in a lot of groups that you guys are going to be evaluated by, like next week we'll tell you your project is going to be with the Riverhawks, a bunch of baseball players, they're not going to put up that guy. But when you have teachers in the room with rubric, and they're looking at the scholarly, information, teachers are going to move on and kind of say, there's another young, naive student that, and so you got to think through some of the things that you say and how you approach it. We have a lot of work to do. We have another project for you that we're telling you today. And you will have another boardroom experience on Monday night. Okay? So here's what I wanted to ask you. Who are the weakest players on this team?
Langston and Lewis.
Langston and who?
Lewis.
Langston and Lewis. Why?
Just because they're very recessive personalities.
So they don't clash with you.
Well, it's funny because when Lewis and I worked one-on-one, I was constantly asking them, Langston came with me when we went to go see Bridget, and then also I was always asking him, what should I do about these personality problems? And he did have a lot of good things to say about that. I just wish they were more aggressive when we were all together, because that would have helped me a lot.
What I think is that if we were all aggressive, then maybe we wouldn't get anywhere, because we have to have a leader who leads us, who sets an example and doesn't just, it's not just about a group of people talking over each other. We all have to agree and put our thoughts together, pick the best out of everything and put it together. That's what I think. I do agree, I don't have that kind of personality. I'm not going to speak over other people, but I want to be heard, and when I don't get the chance to, I will try to find a way by talking to her I know that they're all going to be talking over each other.
Some people use that personality for power. It makes them feel better. So it's important that you understand, Luz, that everybody is valuable on a team. Naomi, you've got, you're telling me that you're bringing these two in, or you feel that they're the weakest because they're not like you.
Well, if you want me to reassess my decision, then...
I don't. I just want you to understand, because maybe strategy, what I would guess is that your egos make you believe that because you're loud and you're good speakers and you can organize quickly. But let me tell you, you get to the finals with just you and Dominic, you're going to fight, and you're not going to have anybody to support you, and these folks aren't going to come back and help you. I could not make anything work at the Y if I didn't have people that were by my side. Matter of fact, most of the time, it's not even me doing the work. Leading is to embrace those that you have, and you've got to really work through that. Dominic, who's the weakest?
The weakest.
Who's the weakest player this week?
This week, it comes down to two.
Pick
me
one.
personally, Naomi, I pick Naomi. Thursday, she wasn't in town or around. I understand that she had commitments and things to be at. However, on a day when I expressed early in the week, I said, I cannot take on project manager. I can give as much of myself as I can, but there needs to be a rock there for the whole week. And on Thursday, the day that she would initially had off all day, to tie these loose ends together, that I ended up being up till 5 in the morning tying together.
Did you accept that responsibility from her?
No.
Did she say she was going to be off and then ask you to take over?
No, I took charge.
So you just were gone and didn't tell anyone?
No, it's not that I didn't tell them. I told them at the beginning of the week that I would be able to be there Thursday.
So who'd you put in charge of the team while you were out?
Well, I texted them and I was like, I'm going to be gone Thursday, so this is what I would like to do. And that's how I directed them. And Dominic's right, I should have done a better job.
Probably letting somebody take charge.
I didn't get that text.